guys, so here we are in One Funnel Away day 2, right? So I'm just going to go over my notes, but I'm also going to include them in the group as well so you guys can get them. So if you missed the session from Russell yesterday, then obviously this is the time where you can catch up in a much more condensed version, but believe me, you'll still want to go and check out the day 2 video inside of the One Funnel Away challenge itself as well, right? So we want to be able to leverage our time, and when we have the right skill set, we don't have to trade our time for money anymore, right? But we've got to learn the process, and it doesn't matter how many funnels flop, or you're just going to get better at it the more you do it. It's very much like when I first started doing videos like this. I've got to admit, and even now I'm still saying a lot, okay? It's just the way it is, and I would love to be able to edit all that out, but I just don't have the time, and to be honest with you, I just can't be asked. So the point is, when you start doing something, you're going to suck, right? And the more you do it, you're going to start to suck less. Yeah, that's a great quote from Garrett J. White, I believe it was. And when it comes to increasing your skill levels, the more you do something, the better you're going to get. And of course, as you increase that skill set, then the higher your chances of success. That's how it works, right? That's the main thing. And you don't need to worry too much about the quality of the presentation, but the quality of the content is more important, okay? Right, so I mean, you might hear on this now, I'm getting a bit of an echo back. I'm not in a soundproof room. I'm using one of those little ring lighters because the light's not fantastic in here. Yeah, I've got a mic, but I could really almost just like go for it on my phone if I wanted to do that. And I'm just going to use this as an example. I could literally just start that, talk it into that, no problem. And that could create a video, right? Or you could go a little bit stage further. You could try and increase the sound. Sometimes I have a little clip-on mic. You might have seen it in some of the other videos that I've done. It just plugs straight into here, clip on, job done. Another thing that people think to improve it is mount it, stick it on a tripod. That can work too, or a little stand that you can get off Amazon. Anything to do with increasing, yeah, sure, that's the way to go, and you can do that. But let's talk about the main thing that we need to do today, and we want to talk again about that big result that you're trying to get to somebody. So you want to have this big result, yeah, and that's going to be up here, and then there's all steps which get up to that big result, and each of those steps are like core results. So you'd have your big one here, and then you'd have a result here, a result here, a result here, and a result here. Does that make sense? Yeah, hopefully it does, right? And then you can then start thinking, right, how can I take that little core result and splinter that down and then make frameworks for each of those, right? And now what I want you to do is pick out one of your core results, one of the things which you're most excited about, you're most passionate about, the thing that you go out and buy yourself, right? That's what we're going to be building your funnel around. So take that idea and then start thinking, okay, right, we've got to then start thinking, right, how do you structure it? Now, Russell went through this thing, which he basically said that people will pay more money for the same thing repackaged in a different way, right? And the example that he gave was his .com Secrets book. And if you've ever read it, it's like $10, nice and cheap. But then you can get like what we're in now, the One Funnel Away challenge, which is essentially a more fleshed out, more built out version of the same frameworks. And then you can go higher, and you can go for like coaching programs and stuff like that. And it's all the same type of thing, but delivered in a different way. And of course, each time you can repackage it, then you can kind of like, you can charge more. The perceived value is higher as well. So it makes more sense for people to buy it, right? So that's kind of like how it does. You think, oh, well, I got this much value out of a book. Maybe if I have like, a 1 hour video, what sort of like am I going to get for that? What if I've got like 12 modules? I can get more value from that. And each time the perceived value is higher, therefore people are going to spend more money on it, right? So how do we actually teach the frameworks? Well, step one is you've got to tell them the story of how you learned it or earned it, which is basically how you got to that big result yourself, right? Simple as that. Next, you're going to teach them the strategy behind it, and tell them the overall story, the overall kind of like the concept from going from here to there. Tell them that as it goes. We're going to show them the tactics, how the thing actually works. So if you imagine if you were walking into battle and you just said to your foot soldiers, right, you go over there, you go over there, you go over there, they'll go like, okay, well, that's cool. But what if you actually said, right, well, this is the strategy. These people are coming from there, they're coming from there. We're going to outflank them here. We're going to do this, right? Okay, right. The tactics is you guys are going to go there. You're going to go there. This is how you're going to work it all out, right? That's the sort of like the tactics behind it, how it's actually done, right? And in step 4, you're going to start sharing case studies and start showing how it's worked for either yourself or how it's worked for others, right? And if you're thinking about how to teach, it's real simple, yeah. You can use a camera. You can, as we said before, just go on the phone, or you can talk over and do it over slides. Now, in the one pager, which is in the notes for this video as well there, it shows you all the options that you can use to create this and put this together and use it as a brainstorming session as well. Now, it's a great way to make sure that you go into that, take action, and actually produce that video today, right? So each day we want to make sure that we are moving forward. And if you fall behind a couple of days, don't worry, you can stretch it out, right? It's dead simple. If you're still on day 1, doesn't matter, even if we're on day 5, just make sure you complete every step of each day before moving on to the next one. That way you're going to get the most out of it. And of course, if you've got any questions or anything you need help with, or just want to chat with the other guys that are in the group, just post it into the group here. We can brainstorm it together, because I can tell you now, more minds are better than one. As simple as that. There's already been discussions start happening, and we can start brainstorming between us. We can start growing this thing, and that's the whole point of this group going together. So make sure you go to that one pager, start doing your homework, report back tomorrow with what you've done, and I will catch you on another video.